What's really going on behind the scenes? Taehyung finally opens up, and his reply to Jungkook leaves everyone speechless. Is this the end of their togetherness? Did Jungkook really embarrass Taehyung? Shocking facts and explosive emotions can no longer be hidden. ARMY, prepare to be heartbroken. Taehyung can't help but get emotional. Spicy reply to Jungkook. The shocking response to Jungkook's confession, and the silence that eventually broke. What will you do when the person you trust the most suddenly leaks something that only the two of you should know? What if that confession not only hurts you, it embarrasses you in front of the world? Dan, what if that person is your best friend as well as your own teammate? It was those questions that shook the hearts of the ARMY from the moment Jungkook's shocking confession emerged in a seemingly ordinary interview until it turned into the center of a storm. But the real storm only began when Taehyung finally spoke up, in a tone that had never been heard from him. Calm, cold, but piercing. There is no longer an iconic smile or a typical laugh capable of covering the wounds behind the look in his eyes. Is it true that Taehyung has been harboring such a deep sense of disappointment? Why did he choose to be silent for months and suddenly explode with a single sentence that made all the ARMY hold their breath? If that's what he thinks, then I've known him wrong all along. The sentence is not just a statement. It was an explosion. And more than anything, it is a wound. None of the fans were ready to accept that the two friends, who had always seemed solid, were now on the verge of a split. Many wondered, what exactly was the content of Jungkook's confession that made Taehyung so devastated? What really happened when the two were working on their secret project at the beginning of the year? And why is everything revealed only now? An internal source said that Jungkook had mentioned one crucial moment that really disappointed him while rehearsing for a special performance with Taehyung. Although Taehyung's name was not mentioned explicitly, fans immediately linked him to a mysterious incident that had kept V absent from rehearsals for several days. He's too late emotionally. Sometimes I feel like he lets his feelings control everything too much, Jungkook said in the interview. The statement may sound trivial to some, but not for those who know Taehyung more closely. He is someone who keeps things tight, embraces sadness in silence, and loves in ways that are often incomprehensible. And now, when someone he considers a brother reveals his weakness as the reason for the team's tension, the limits of his patience collapse. I've been quiet enough, but if my silence is considered a sign of wrong, then let me speak now, Taehyung said in a live broadcast that was held suddenly, without announcement, without promotion. Only one camera, one room, and one truth have been kept. The night he spoke was like a torrential downpour of burning coals. He does not blame, does not attack, but every word has weight. There is anger wrapped in elegance. There are wounds that are conveyed with a tone of holding back tears. And there was one moment in which he had to stop talking for a few seconds just to calm himself down. Jungkook knows why I'm like that. But he chose to let others judge from one side, he said slowly. I'm disappointed. Not because of his confession, but because he forgot everything we ever shared. And right at that moment, millions of ARMY hearts collapsed together. Someone's crying. Some are angry. Some feel like they are missing something that cannot be explained in words. The relationship between Jungkook and Taehyung is not just an ordinary friendship. It was the emotional foundation that had been BTS's strength all along. And now, that foundation looks shaky. What is going on behind the scenes that no camera can capture? Was there really a hidden conflict during their last world tour before the hiatus? Why do some staff claim to see Taehyung and Jungkook avoiding each other in the break room? The questions kept coming, but the answers were getting blurry. Especially when, after Taehyung's live broadcast, Jungkook didn't give any clarification. No apologies. No statement. Just silence. And that silence for many people is more painful than all the words ever spoken. Is this a sign of the rupture in the bond that they have built since the trainee period? Or is this just a temporary storm that will strengthen them as before? However, this time the taste was different. There was something in Taehyung's gaze that night that couldn't be faked. There is sincerity, but also fatigue. He looked like someone who had been holding on to something for too long. And when he finally spoke, the world was shaken. Some fans began to speculate, is this related to Taehyung's solo project that was postponed? Many believe that the delay was not due to technical problems, but to a deeper personal conflict. While others feel that Jungkook, with all his solo successes and achievements, unconsciously began to move away from the emotional bond that they had been keeping. But despite all the speculation, one thing is certain: Taehyung's words that night will be remembered. It does not destroy anyone. He simply opened the wound that had been neatly closed, hoping that someone cared enough to look deeper into it. "If you really knew someone, you wouldn't talk like that," he said. And that sentence felt like a farewell letter, even though he never mentioned the word parting. Now, the question is, what's the next step? Will Jungkook answer? Or will it continue to let Taehyung stand alone in the storm he started? And is BTS, as a group, capable of returning from this rift as before? Or is this the beginning of inevitable change? ARMY, are you ready to accept the fact that not all friendships will stay the same forever? No one could have prepared the ARMY for what happened after that live broadcast. Social media has become a sea of emotions. Hashtags such as hashtag Taehyung deserves better, hashtag ProtectV, to hashtag Jungkook explain immediately topped the world's trending topics. Armies from all corners of the world were split in confusion. They want to know what really happened. Why do these two icons of friendship now look like two polar opposites? And more importantly, why didn't any of the other BTS members speak up? Question after question rolled like a hurricane. Many began to pull the red thread of various hints that had gone unnoticed so far. Like why Taehyung didn't look so active in promoting BTS's last project before they went on hiatus. Why does Jungkook rarely mention Taehyung's name in his live broadcasts? Even in the latest behind-the-scenes vlog, the two are barely visible in the same frame. Is this all a coincidence? Or was there already a distance formed long before the public realized it? One of the moments that is now viral again is when they are in the United States to record with a big producer. In the short video that was circulating, Taehyung can be seen leaving the studio early. His face looks tired and almost expressionless. Jungkook followed a few minutes later, but his expression, it's normal. No sign of worry. No one was chasing him. Now, the video was reinterpreted by the ARMY. They looked back at Taehyung's expression. Your lips are holding something. A look that implies, I want to get out of here. Could that night be the beginning of the breakdown of their relationship? Meanwhile, some keen-eyed fans also noted that since the past few months, Taehyung has often posted photos of himself alone, with cryptic captions and as if talking to someone. One of his posts even reads, I hope you don't let others judge you from a side they don't understand. At that time, many thought Taehyung was talking about personal problems or even his rumored love story. But now, those words are like boomerangs, as if addressed to someone closer than anyone, Jungkook. And as the ARMY begins to piece together the pieces of that puzzle, the truth becomes increasingly bittersweet. However, is it fair to blame Jungkook entirely? Several ARMYs defended the Golden Magne. They remind Jungkook that he is only human. Maybe he didn't mean to hurt. Perhaps his statement came out unnoticed. Or could it be that he was also being hurt, and those words were a form of frustration that he had held on to for too long? But if so, why didn't he explain? Jungkook's silence didn't just create distance. It creates walls. And that wall is now beginning to distance his heart from the person he used to be closest to. An inside source from the management team, who did not want to be named, said that there was actually an attempt by the team to meet the two personally after Taehyung's live broadcast. But reportedly, one of them refused. And the strong suspicion, the rejection came from Jungkook's side. Does this mean Jungkook chose silence as a form of protection or as a form of avoidance? Taehyung, in an Instagram story post a few days after the live, posted only a silhouette photo of himself standing in front of a large glass, staring out the window with a short caption, Sorry if I look like an enemy. I'm just being too honest. And that word, honest, burns the hearts of many. I ask, there any pressure from within the group that makes Taehyung feel like he is to hide his identity? Has there been any tension hidden all this time for the sake of preserving the image of the group? More than that, Why hasn't HYB given any statement yet? When two BTS icons are emotionally opposite each other in front of the public, is it natural for the company to just choose shut up? More and more fans began to doubt the way the management handled this issue. Many urged that there be an official clarification, not only from Jungkook, but also from an agency that has so far seen. What hurts more than a fight? Silence of those who should speak. ARMY didn't just rock social media because of the emotional showdown between Jungkook and Taehyung. More than that, they are now questioning one name that has been known as the foundation, counterweight, and inner voice of BTS, Kim Namjoon. Whereas RM? Unlike usual, RM, who is known to be wise, quick to respond, and full of control, this time was completely invisible. Not a single upload, no soothing message, not even a signal that he was aware of the storm that was hitting his sisters. For a leader, silence can be a bad sign. Many soldiers began to suspect that RM's silence was not without reason. Is he caught in the middle of an internal conflict that is more complicated than it seems? Or are the wounds left deeper than just an emotional argument? A fanbase account known to have connections with HYB's staff posted a shocking claim. RM is said to have tried to meet Taehyung and Jungkook in person long before the live broadcast took place. But the meeting reportedly failed miserably because of differences in principles that could not be put together. In fact, according to the source, Taehyung's last words at the meeting were, "You let him judge me like he knows everything." The words are not just sharp, but implies a sense of betrayal, and if it is true that RM witnessed the dispute firsthand, could that be the reason he chose to withdraw from the public? But it's not just RM who is in the spotlight. ARMY is now starting to highlight those who have been too quiet, including Suga and Jin, two of the most mature figures in dealing with internal drama. Suga, in one of his last interviews before the military hiatus, said something that now feels like a prophecy. Sometimes we need to stop being BTS to get to know who we really are. Now, the quote has been completely dissected by fans. What does that mean? Is there pressure within the group that makes each one feel constrained? Does Jungkook or Taehyung feel like they're no longer themselves? The most surprising was the appearance of an old video from BTS's internal variety show, in which Taehyung said to Jungkook, "Sometimes I feel like you change when we're in front of the camera." At that time, everyone laughed. But the laughter, now it feels emptied. ARMY was split in two, between those who began to blame Jungkook for his statements that triggered Taehyung's emotional life, and those who defended that Jungkook was just a victim of too high expectations. But reality is not that black and white, because behind all this, there is one figure who is even more highlighted due to his indirect involvement: Jimin. Yes, Park Jimin. The person known as the emotional glue among the members. But why did Jimin also disappear from the radar? Is it because he knows something we don't? This suspicion was further strengthened after fans realized that Taehyung and Jimin had not mentioned each other on social media for a long time, even though the two were known to be very close in the early days of BTS's debut. Even in the promotion of their respective solo albums, no interaction is as common as it used to be. Jimin appeared only once, on a live broadcast at the launch of his album. But that night, he also said something that is now a big debate in fandom. Sometimes we have to be silent, even when we know something is wrong. Is it aimed at Taehyung and Jungkook, or precisely on himself? No one knows for sure. But one thing is clear: Jimin, RM, Jin, and Suga's silence is no ordinary silence. They are like silent witnesses of an inevitable crack. And the more they didn't talk, the more pressure the ARMY was under to guess what was really going on. A number of ARMY seniors even started a new hashtag campaign, #BTS Deserve Honesty. They urged HYB and the members to stop hiding the obvious problems in plain sight. They don't ask for drama. They ask for honesty, because what hurts the most for this fandom is not the fights. But pretend nothing when the whole world is already looking at the gaping wound. And that hurt has now spread not only to Taehyung or Jungkook, but also to the entire hope that BTS can come back as whole as before. In the midst of all that, came one shocking upload from BTS's official Weverse account. Just one dark photo, with no caption, featuring 6 empty seats in a rehearsal room. and one seat in a light-lit corner. IS this a sign? Army made glued. They know the photo is not without meaning. But is it a symbol of someone choosing themselves? Or someone set aside?